Okay, this is the final part of 2.5. I thought I was going to be able to do it in two parts, but it looks like it's going to be three parts. And this one should be a little bit shorter, but we'll kind of cover a little bit of the homework as well. So if I'm just going to keep going with some of these, and I'm just going to give you a couple of more examples on the percentages. So if it says that 12 is 80% of what number? I'm just going to abbreviate number here. So once again, process is going to be the same. My 12 is going to come down. Is my equal sign. 80 of is telling me to multiply. And my x is going to be what number? And remember, I can multiply any two numbers or any two items together. They don't have to be the same thing. That's going to be 80x is equal to 12. So I basically divide both of these by 80. Whatever I do on one side of the equation, always do on the other side of the equation. This allows you to come down to a single x. And this is 12 over 80. So once again, I can reduce this fraction because it reduces down. Actually, it reduces down by 4, so this becomes 3 over 20. Now, 3 over 20 is going to be the same thing as 3 divided by 20. Once again, 20 won't go into 3, so that tells me I'm going to use my decimal point. My decimal point is just going to go directly over top of that. 20 won't go into 3, but 20 will go into 30 one time. 1 times 20 is going to give me 20. It's going to leave me with 100. 20 will go into 100 5 times. 5 will go into 2100, so I'm left right there with 0.15. Now, remember, the last thing that we kind of covered also, if it says what number and it gives you a percentage and you're going to a number, last thing you're going to do is move your decimal 2 to the right. And this is going to be 15. And then we're going to go back once again and just look at this logically. 12% or 12 is 80% of a number. Well, if I know that 12 is 80% of something, that means my number is going to be greater than 12. And if I doubled that number, which would mean it would be 200% of that number or something like that, obviously I'm going to get into a larger number. So if I was just sitting at 0.15, I would know that this number would have to be greater than 12. So automatically that kind of tells me that I forgot to use my decimal spots and move them over. So just keep that in mind when you kind of look these over. So I'm going to do one more. So if it said, I'm going to just abbreviate number again. What number is, let's say, I don't know, 30% of, let's go with 50. Once again, process is going to be the same. What is going to be my x? Is going to be my equal sign. 30 is going to go here. Of is telling me to multiply. And my 50 just comes down. So 30 times 50. And this is kind of the way I multiply any two numbers or any number that ends in 0. Just slide it one to the right. 0 comes down. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 15. Or 5 times 3 is 15. So this is going to tell me that x is equal to 1500. Remember, anytime I given a percentage sign and it asks me what number, last thing I want to do is go 2 to the left. So 1, 2 to the left. This is telling me that x is equal to 15. And now let's just go back and look at that logically. If 50% of 50 would be 25, and 30% is less than 50%, then I know my number should be somewhere between 0 and 25, and which it is, it's at 15. So the last thing I'm going to cover in this particular section is going to be Fahrenheit and Celsius. And those are two formulas that you're going to see consistently. So if my formula for going from Fahrenheit to Celsius is going to be this particular formula. It's going to be 5/9 times Fahrenheit minus 32. That is going to be what is equal to Celsius. On the reverse of that, if I'm going from Celsius to Fahrenheit, it's a very similar formula, but it's slightly different. It's kind of the reverse of the other one. It's going to be 9/5, and all of that is going to be times my Celsius, and all of that is going to be added to 32, and that's going to give me my Fahrenheit. So we're just going to check some some different temperatures and just kind of see if they are in fact they are correct. So I'm going to say that my temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a nice, not too hot, not too cold. But anyway, I'm going to substitute in my Fahrenheit here with the 72. So that's going to be 72 minus 32. And all of that is going to be times 5/9. So 72 minus 32 is going to give me 40. So that's going to be 40 times 5/9. And once again, I'm just going to turn both of these into fractions. So that's going to be 5/9 times 40/1. 5 times 40 is going to give me 200. So that's going to give me 200/9. So remember, that's the same thing as 200 divided by 9. So I'm just going to take 9, divide that into 200. 9 won't go into 2, but 9 will go into 20 2 times. That's going to give me an 18. Leave me with 20. Same process. 9 will go into 20 2 times. That'll give me an 18. And notice these just continue on. Once I get to the end of my 200, that'll be my decimal spot. So that'll be 22.2. So as far as for this class, as far as we will ever break down any decimal, will be 1 decimal spot. So for this particular answer, my final answer is going to be that this is going to be a Celsius of 22.2. Now, if I'm going to turn around and use the reverse of that, very similar, like I said, to these formulas. Notice there's just a little bit variation in them. And if we put them side by side and move them around, you kind of see that they are basically mirrors of each other. But anyway, let's just say that it is 50 degrees, and that's going to be my Celsius. So I'm going to just plug this in. I think 50 degrees Celsius is pretty warm, but we're going to see, is it warm or is it cool, or where it falls. I know that 22 degrees Celsius makes it a nice day, so this is probably going to make it hot. So automatically I should know that this is going to go up a little bit. So if I just substitute these in, this is going to be 9/5 times, and I'm substituting in my Celsius, which is 50, and I'm going to add whatever that number is to 32 to tell me what my Fahrenheit is. So once again, I'm going to just move it over to the side, be 9/5 times 50/1, and that's going to give me 450/5, and 450 divided by 5, all that's going to be added to 32. I'm just going to move this over here. 5 will go into 450. 5 won't go into 4, but 5 will go into 45 9 times. 9 times 45 is 45, or 9 times 5 is 45. 5 will go into 0 times. Remember, you take it all the way out to the decimal. There's nothing left to divide there, so this is just going to be 90 plus 32 is going to give me 122. So I know that 122 degrees Fahrenheit is the same thing as 50 degrees Celsius. And that's how you do these. Now, you will see one of these on your quiz, and then you will probably see one of them on the exam as well.